Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mrs. Gallagher, and today we're going to discuss estimating cube roots. So let's refresh what a cube is. A cube is to raise a number to the third power. So a cube is to raise a number to the third power. So for example, if you have something like x, and your exponent is 3, the exponent of 3 is the third power. So let's look at our chart and refresh our common cubes. So we have 1 to the third power, which is 1 times 1 times 1, which gives us 1. 2 to the third power, 2 times 2 times 2, which equals 8. 3 to the third power, 3 times 3 times 3, which equals 27. 4 to the third power, 4 times 4 times 4, which equals 64. 5 to the third power is 5 times 5 times 5, which equals 125. 6 to the third power, 6 times 6 times 6, which equals 216. 7 to the third power, 7 times 7 times 7, which is 343. 8 to the third power equals 512. 9 to the third power is 729. And 10 to the third power equals 1,000. So now let's discuss a cube root. We just talked about a cube. A cube root is the inverse of cubing a number. So a cube root is the inverse of cubing a number. And the symbol of a cube root has a 3, looks like a square root symbol, and we'll put x in the center. So that is your cube root symbol. So let's recall we have the cube root of 8, and the cube root of 8 is equal to 2, because 2 to the third equals 8. We have the cube root of 512, which equals 8, because 8 to the third power is equal to 512. We have the cube root of 125, which equals 5, because 5 to the third power, 5 times 5 times 5 equals 125. And then we have the cube root of 64, which equals 4, because 4 to the third power equals 64. So let's now estimate some cube roots. So in example 1 it says, what is the two whole numbers closest to the cube root of 326? Round to the nearest whole number. So look at your chart and you're going to say, where does 326, the cube root, fall between what two perfect cube roots? And we're going to answer just like we answered estimating square roots. So the perfect cube root before is the cube root of 216, which equals 6. The perfect cube after the cube root of 326 is the cube root of 343, which gives us 7. So where does 326 fall closer to? Well, it falls closer to 343. Therefore, the nearest whole number would be 7. Now, if you like doing the trees instead, you would do the cube root of 326 and break it up. The cube root of 216 is equal to 6. The cube root of 343 is equal to 7. So how many way do we have? Well, 326 minus 216. 326 minus 216 right here. That's going to give us 110. And then we're going to find the difference between 326 and 343. And that's going to give us 17. So what's it closer to? 17. So my answer is 7. Let's do the next example. What are the two whole numbers closest to the cube root of 52? Round to the nearest whole number. So the cube root before would be the cube root of 27. That's our perfect cube before, which equals 3. And the perfect cube after 52 would be the cube root of 64, which equals 4. So where would 52 lie, the cube root of 52? Well, it would be closer to 64. Therefore, my answer would be 4. So that's what a number line. If you want to do the tree, the cube root of 52, break it up. Perfect cube before is 27, which gives us 3. Perfect cube after is the cube root of 64, which gives us 4. Let's find the difference between 52 and 27, and that is 25. And now let's find the difference between 52 and 64, and that equals 12. 12 is smaller, so it's closest to 4. Therefore, our nearest whole number is 4. Let's do one more example together. What are the two whole numbers closest to the cube root of 100? Round to the nearest whole number. So let's identify the perfect cube root before 100, which is the cube root of 64. If you look at that chart, and that equals 4. And then the perfect cube root after is 125, the cube root, which equals 5. All right, so what is 100 closest to the cube root? Well, it's closer to 125, the cube root of 100. Therefore, our answer is 5. Now, if you want to use a tree, you have the cube root of 100 and the cube root of 64, which is 4, and the cube root of 125, which equals 5. Now let's find the difference between 64 and 100 is 36. The difference between 100 and 125 is 25. Which number is smaller? 25. Therefore, our answer is 5. So the nearest whole number is 5. Again, you only have to choose which way you want to do it, but I'm showing you both ways, the number line and the tree. So what I would like you to do now is the you try section. Please do numbers 1 and number 2, and we will discuss it in class. You can either do the number line or the tree. Thank you.